All right. Welcome, everybody. It's your boy, Chris Mann. I am here at the Work Hard, Play Harder podcast. I'm with my special guest, which is Aurora Cady. She is a filmmaker, a producer, and she is based out of California. So I want to say thank you for coming on to my podcast, Aurora. How are you doing today?
I'm so good, and thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
I'm very excited too. Once again, you look absolutely lovely. But I think all gingers are absolutely lovely. I don't know
Well,
if you're
thank you.
naturally a ginger, but
I
I love
am.
ginger. Oh, okay, I love that. I really do. That's amazing. I want to reiterate to you why I wanted to have you on here, and on my podcast. I love talking to people in media. I'm a journalist myself. So I've been a journalist for the past 7 years. Started in Atlanta, Georgia. Now I'm in Minnesota, and I'm actually going to be on my way to New York very soon to
Nice.
start covering teams up there. Like I've mentioned before, I know you're a filmmaker, a producer. So anybody that's in media, I love to get to hear about their why and why they do what they do, because everybody's story is unique of how they joined this industry, and everybody's story is worth telling, and your story is just as special as anyone else's. So it was a no-brainer to reach out to you, and I'm just happy you said yes.
Oh my God, I'm so honored.
Absolutely, no doubt, no doubt. And I also, before I get started, I want to ask you, how has your week been going?
It's been good. I'm right now producing a short and we're crowdfunding that project. So,
Mm.
crowdfunding for anyone who's ever done it is just hard. It's a challenge and you have your ups
Right.
and downs or whatever. So, it's been a little bit of a hairy week, but I'm feeling optimistic about things.
Absolutely. Awesome. And just to let you know, fun fact, I am from California, even though I'm not
Nice.
there. Yes, absolutely. San Diego, to be exact. That's the city that I grew up in for sure. So, yeah, absolutely. I love
I
it.
love San Diego. It's so pretty. The weather's always perfect.
Absolutely. And I'm a huge beach person. So, I love beaches and stuff like that. So,
The
absolutely.
best.
I want to start off with this question, Aurora, and that is, what is your why? Why do you do what you do? Did you have any role models and inspirations growing up? But ultimately, what led you into a career of the media slash film industry?
It's interesting because I grew up in small town Ohio. And when I was a kid, there wasn't the internet yet. And it never even occurred to me that I could work in film.
Mm,
Things weren't as mobile then. Like I grew up in like the 80s and 90s. And
yep.
so the idea of like moving to California or something was just absurd. It wasn't really something I thought about, even though
Right.
like who doesn't love movies? Of course, like everybody grows up having their favorites. And it seems like a magical thing to work in Hollywood, especially if you're not from LA and don't know film people. And it had never occurred to me. And I was actually in software for many years. I had a software company for about 13 years. And that actually brought me to LA. I moved to LA maybe like 15 years ago. And once I was there, of course, everybody in LA, like you go to a bar and like the bartender's like a bartender and actress. Like you go on a
Absolutely.
date and like maybe they're working on a film crew or something like that. So
Sure.
it's so easy to find yourself in the industry once you're already in LA. And for me, the kind of like turning point was I met my husband years ago who was in visual effects. And he's worked on things like Titanic, like was one of his first movies.
Wow.
He worked on like Walking Dead and some really cool things. And so
Great
when I
show.
met, yeah, yeah, great show. And
Hmm.
he's worked on some really fun things. And like one of our first dates, actually, he was on Fear the Walking Dead too.
Mm.
And so one of our first dates was he was like, "Do you want to come be a zombie on Fear the Walking Dead and like be an extra?" And I was like, "Obviously."
Right. Why not? Oh my God. That's amazing. Go ahead.
Right? Like getting to like the zombie makeup and everything. It's
Mhm.
so fun. And so like around that time, I'd been feeling kind of burnt out on software and I'd found myself in that spot not really because I had a passion for it, but just because it
Mhm.
was something that kind of came naturally to me. I'm a numbers person, I'm a math person, and I'd started the company when I was in college and it did pretty well. Fortunately, like kind of right out of the gate. So it was sort of like one of those things that it was hard to leave because I was making money financially, but I didn't feel satisfied. Like I never looked
Sure.
forward to going to work. I never looked forward to what I was doing. It just wasn't like inspiring for me. And when I had met my husband and realized that, oh my gosh, like you can actually like make movies, like I
Mhm.
never like thought about trying to do that. And so I kind of got in the door like that way. And it's just life changing. And it's, I think for other people that have like been on film crews, there's, I can't imagine a harder job. And there are harder jobs, but it's like, a 12 to 14-hour day.
Yeah,
It's brutal. Like you're there from like sun up to sundown, sometimes overnight, sometimes weekends. And it's a really intense environment. But there's also nothing else like that feeling of creating something and everybody doing their own role. And there's hundreds of people on a film crew for like a big studio show that have something that they're contributing, and it all comes together to make this meaningful thing that people love and can relate to. It's just so cool.
absolutely. I love that. I love that why. I really do. I love that answer. It's a great start to our conversation that we're going to be having today. No doubt about that. Doing a little bit of research that I did, you went to the Ohio State University.
I did.
I want to ask you, were there any other schools that you were considering other than going to Columbus?
Absolutely. I did not want to go to Columbus.
Oh, okay.
I'm from a town near Columbus, and I really wanted to get out. And I always knew that I would not stay in Ohio, and like no shade to Ohio, it's a great place to grow up. There's cool things there. They've got
Sure.
plenty of like, farms and local things, and Columbus and Cleveland and Cincinnati have like their own thing going on, but it just didn't. I knew I needed to like do more things in life. Like I was fine living there, but then I had to get out. And so I actually wanted to go to, I always knew I would go to art school. Like I had started off like painting. I'd always been in some kind of
Wow.
art
Okay.
related thing. And I
Yeah.
really wanted to go to school for fine arts, either at Chicago Art Institute
Mhm.
or Savannah, because they have such great art programs. So that was my dream. And pretty much my parents were just like, we're not paying for that.
Right. Right.
They didn't end up
Right.
paying for my school anyway, so I should have just done whatever I wanted to do. But I chose Ohio State because it was convenient. It's a great school. Like
Mhm.
once I was there and kind of like accepted that I wouldn't be leaving Ohio at that point, it's a fantastic school and they have some really great programs.
Absolutely. Defending national champions too in
Oh,
football. No
yes.
question about that. No, no question about that. They were ridiculing Ryan Day until he won that national championship for sure. So yes, that's pretty awesome.
Amazing.
I've been there once because I used to work with a coworker named Jared who was from Ohio as well. And his grandparents stayed out there. So it was me, Jared, and another coworker named Deshaun, and we all went up there to watch the game. We all went spent a weekend in Columbus, Ohio, which was amazing because they're also big time Columbus Blue Jacket fans. And for those that will
Oh,
watch this,
yeah.
Columbus Blue Jackets are a team in the NHL, National
Yeah.
Hockey League. So, yeah, definitely have a lot of love for Ohio. No doubt about it. 614 area code, no doubt about
That's
that. So,
right.
that's right. So, I definitely have a lot of love for that. And I'm probably going to be going back there next month because NABJ, which is the National Association of Black Journalists, is in Cleveland,
Amazing.
Ohio this year. So I'm looking forward to doing that as well.
That's so fun. I love Cleveland. It's a great
Mhm.
place to visit.
Mhm.
And it's kind of fun like going back to some place that you lived. I don't know if you've ever experienced this in San Diego, not being a
Yeah.
resident there, but like more as a tourist.
Hmm.
And I had gone to Cleveland like maybe like 3 or 4 years ago to visit my family, and we went to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and it's amazing.
Okay, well, I'll definitely have to check that out while I'm there for sure. And I may
Yeah.
have to hit you up for some tips on what to do in Cleveland because it'll be the beginning of August when I'm definitely out there for sure for that convention.
Yeah.
But yes, to answer your question, definitely went back to San Diego as a visitor after leaving there. So much different, but it was great because I got a chance to get my favorite food, which is Jack in the Box. I love me some Jack in the Box.
So good.
So
Classic.
good. Classic, right? Went to some beaches. We had Pacific Beach with the bars, and I'm a huge night owl person because, like I said, I like to work hard and play hard, Aurora.
I
That's what I
love
like
that.
to do. So yes, I went to there and had a good time and met up with some old high school friends as well. So it was pretty cool.
Nice. Yeah, great place
Absolutely.
to visit. I'm living in the desert right now and it's beautiful. Very hot in the summer, but like I'm in
Mhm.
Joshua Tree, so you have, all the like the cacti and boulders and it's
Absolutely.
like so stunning, but I'm really missing the ocean.
Absolutely. I know about that. I want to ask you some favorite questions, and you just give me the 411 off the rip based upon these favorite questions. Okay, so here we
Mhm.
go. Favorite meal you like to cook?
Oh my gosh. My favorite food, because I'm a Midwesterner, will always be mac and cheese. It's so basic, but it's so
Mm.
good.
Okay, well, you already won my heart, girl. No question about it. I love me
You
some
cannot go
mac
wrong
and
with
cheese.
pasta and cheese.
No, never ever. And I'm a huge taco person, so I love
Oh,
tacos.
God,
Whether
tacos.
they're ground turkey, steak, or chicken, doesn't matter which one, but either one of those will be fine. I love me some tacos.
The best.
Absolutely. That's what's up. I like that. Favorite concert you've ever attended?
The best one I've ever been to, and it was because it was so personal. This is so random. I went to see like the 70s and 80s band Heart.
Mm,
They do that
okay.
song like Barracuda and Magic Man, and they had some like big hits in the 70s and 80s. And I
Hmm.
got invited to go to them to see them with a friend. And she's like such a super fan, and it's such a random band to be a super fan of. Like, I love Heart, but like she
Hmm.
loses her mind and she's in their fan club. Like she's like in like
Wow.
an official fan club that she pays a membership for. So
Okay.
she had access to getting us like front row seats and like a meet and greet with Ann and Nancy Wilson, who are like quite like iconic. I remember seeing like they had a TV show on MTV when I was growing up and stuff. Like they're like amazing. So we go to this concert and we get to go backstage and meet Ann and Nancy, which
Wow.
was really cool.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
right. And like Anne was like not really into talking to people, which is totally fine. I'm like, she's probably getting in the zone and trying to like focus. She's about to go perform at this like big stadium in Houston. Like it's a big deal.
Sure.
So like I like see her sitting there and I like have to say something to her because that show I saw on MTV when I was a kid had this thing where they were talking about when they first started to get famous and producers wanted to build them as like these sexy sisters. And
Oh,
they're like, that's a little weird and that's not us. We're not going to do that. And so like they were
right.
kind of like rebellious and like they turned down this big like, like deal because they're like, no, like that's not who we are and we'll get there on our own under our
Okay.
own brand. And I thought that was like so empowering when I saw that, as a kid. And so I like told her I remembered that and I've always thought about that. And I was like, you were one of my first forays into like feminism, whatever. And she's like, you're a feminist. And I was like, yes, I am. And she said, that's amazing. And she gave me her guitar pick. And then she dedicated a song to me during the concert. And she's like, here's a little song
Wow.
I wrote about feminism. And she pointed to me in the audience.
That's what's up. I like that. Now, do you remember the song? Do you remember the song title? What's the song called?
I wish I remembered, and it's been like quite a few years ago, and it was like a really lesser known song of theirs, and I'm like a
Hmm.
fan, but I'm not that big of a fan. I mean,
I
I love
feel that.
them, but like I don't know all their song names, but that's probably the best one I've ever been to. Like I've probably been to other concerts that were like, like Lady Gaga and like things like that were like amazing, but
Absolutely.
that one was so memorable because I got to interact with them.
No question about it. I'm a huge R&B person, so The Weeknd, Alicia Keys,
Yes.
are two
Yes.
concerts that I absolutely love. So yeah, those were pretty damn good. I'm just gonna say that
Oh,
for sure. Um,
Alicia Keys is such an icon.
Absolutely, no question about that. Favorite place you've ever traveled to?
Favorite place I've ever traveled to? That's a little tough. Like my favorite place I've ever lived was Budapest. I was there for a couple years on the TV show Jack Ryan. We shot there for like multiple seasons, so we
Yeah,
were like
absolutely.
living there for almost 2 years.
Mhm.
And that place is just so livable. Like they have great public transportation. It's got this kind of spooky vibe with these like old churches with spires, and it's just a really fun place. They have a great nightlife. Like the food's okay. Hungarians are not known for like having like the best food, but it's like it's
Right.
good, and they have some good restaurants and stuff. So
Okay.
that's probably like my favorite place I've lived. But then like the coolest place I've ever been was Cairo in Egypt, just because it's like,
Oh, wow.
beginning of civilizations and the pyramids and whatever. It's just so memorable.
That is definitely on my bucket list to go to Egypt, for
Go.
sure, no question about that. I would definitely say my favorite place is Jamaica, though.
Oh,
Um,
Jamaica's
Going
great.
there, it is. I mean, the jerk chicken, the food, the
Yeah,
people, the beaches, the vibes, everything was so
the
good. Went there
vibes.
on a cruise, last year, so it was pretty cool.
I
I
was there on a
definitely loved it.
cruise like 2 years ago too. I loved it.
Okay, now what cruise line did you go on?
I think that one was maybe Princess. I actually went with my parents. My parents
Mhm.
love a cruise.
Right. Right. Absolutely. I went with my dad set mine up. So yeah, we same here. MSC cruises is what we went on. So yeah,
Nice.
absolutely. It was pretty cool. I'm a sports person, Aurora, so I'm gonna ask you a sports question. This is a two-parter. Okay, so here we go. Favorite sport you like to watch on TV, favorite sport you like to attend in person. They could be the same sport.
Okay. Yeah, that's tough. I'm not huge into sports. I wish I was
Mhm.
bigger into sports. Like my favorite
Mhm.
one definitely to see in person is baseball. And my
Okay.
grandpa was a big baseball person, and um we had the Columbus Clippers, like, in Ohio, so we used to go see
Ooh,
them with my grandpa all the
right.
time. So I
Hmm.
really like to go to a baseball game. You got, like, the hot dogs, you got, like, like, the baseball hats, you have the ambiance, it's kinda, like, slow paced. So
Mm-hmm.
that's probably my favorite to go to, and I did used to play a little basketball when I was younger, so I like basketball, but I don't, like, follow any teams. But it's like, if I were to watch something on TV, it would be basketball.
Well, see, that's okay. You can help me with the movies and the stuff like that, and I can help you with the sports. That's
I
how good
need the
friends
help.
we can be.
I
And
love it.
listen, I need the help with the movies too, because listen, I do watch movies, but hey, I can be schooled, sorry, on more
Right.
things for sure. No question about that. So that's awesome though. Football would be for me, as far
Uh-huh.
as watching on TV, because football the stadiums are too damn big. I mean, they're really big. If you're not close, they look like mini me's. So you might
Right.
as well look at it on TV. Now,
Good point.
basketball would be something I would see in person because the
Mhm.
arenas is much smaller. They're about 5 times less than what a football stadium is. And you could just really be on top of it. So I like that very much as well. So
Really good
absolutely.
energy at basketball games too.
Now,
Like
no
everyone's
doubt.
like so hyped.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Last of the favorites. I'm a huge foodie person, so I love food. I love traveling to different places. Obviously, I'm very fond of Los Angeles. Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles. Don't know if you've heard of that place, but
Oh
that's
yeah.
one of my favorite places. But there's a lot of restaurants there in Los Angeles in that California area that I know. But I want to know from you, what is your favorite restaurant to eat at?
My favorite one is actually in Montreal, and it's this
Mm,
sushi place called Sushi Momo.
wow.
And it's great because, like Montreal is like French Canadian. And so like the people there are Quebecois, like it's in like the province is Quebec. And so they do this great like French fusion of sushi. So they'll do like flambe, like a cheese that they catch on fire on the sushi, and like
Oh,
really
wow.
like fun and fancy. So that's like my favorite of like fancy places. And then probably the runner up for me is this taco place in Austin, Texas called oh shoot, what's it called? It's like Taco Nam or something. It's in this like food trailer in Austin, Texas, and they do like the best kind of like fun fancy tacos, but for like $4. Like it's nothing like super high end.
I like that. I do. Okay, that's what's up. Okay, I'm gonna have to try that next time I'm in Texas for sure.
Oh yeah.
And obviously, I fun fact again, I've never had sushi.
You've never had sushi? Why?
No, no, and people ask me that all the time. Well, first off, sushi can be raw or cooked, and I don't know which one to try first.
Right. That's a good point, and, like,
Yeah.
fish can be, like, a little sketchy, like, raw, like, I
Mhm.
totally get why somebody
Mhm.
would not be super into that, and also, I was just watching this horror movie on Netflix. Gosh, I wish I could remember what it's called. It just came out. It's like a Thai horror movie that just came out yesterday on Netflix.
Oh, wow.
And the premise of it is that there's, been a environmental crisis and like the oceans are because of the ice caps melting that there's been new bacteria released into the ocean and it's killing all the fish. And so, like, people no longer have fish to eat, and of course, in Asia, that's, like, such a huge part of their diet. So, like,
Right.
people are freaking out, like, people are starving to death as, like, this big thing, and then lo and behold, they, like, start like, some rich people, like, find some fish that, like, are still living or they're farming them or whatever, but the fish have the bacteria that was killing the other fish, and it turns people into zombies.
Wow, that's crazy. Okay, that's
Yeah.
what's up.
It's a fun little
Okay.
zombie movie. I was just
Mm.
watching it actually right before this, so, maybe do think twice before eating fish.
Yeah, sushi is definitely not on the top of the bucket list, Aurora, but,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm more of a two-piece and a biscuit kinda guy, but,
Oh, biscuits.
yeah,
Yum.
yeah, yeah, you know what I mean? So that's just me, but I appreciate that 411. I do appreciate
Yeah.
that very much, very much. Thank you.
Right.
I wanna talk to you about your day-to-day, because as you know, being in the media industry, day-to-days are never 2 days are never the same, is what I wanna say.
Right.
Being a journalist, I worked in different publications. I would be covering a different game, different story almost every day, certainly every week. Um, I know in the media industry, producing different films, different projects is always coming up. You just talked about Jack Ryan. I also know that you were doing 1923 as well. You had a part in there as well. So tell me, what is your day-to-day process of going to work? How long do you normally work? As you know, sets, like you said, you on set probably what, 12, 14 hours a day. It's
Yeah.
long days, just like journalists can be long days. But tell me about your day-to-day process.
Yeah, so it can vary depending on what stage of the process we're in. So right now I'm in pre-production for a horror movie that I actually wrote and I'm the executive producer on. So right now,
Mm,
I'm not working 12 to 14-hour days. Some days I'm probably working 12 hours. Like I'll start working as soon as I wake up at like 6 a.m. and then like work until I can't stand it anymore, just trying to
mhm,
get things lined up. And it depends. It's like in film, we say like you have to hurry up just to slow down. So
right.
it'll be like rush, 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 rush. And now everything's on hold. And it's like we might not do anything for a month, like in pre production.
Mm,
So this is kind of, it's like the hard part and the easy part since getting funding in for any film is always going to be
tough.
painful.
Yeah.
But then like once you're going, like once we start filming, then yeah, you're on set for all day. And for like 1923, for example, it was a really brutal show. We shot in Texas in the summer. So we shot in Austin, Texas, where it's very normal to have it be over like 100 degrees. I
Yep.
don't know what the humidity is there. It feels like 1,000%,
Yeah.
like you're just
Yeah.
wet. And we had some studio days. So some days that we were shooting like at a studio with like kind of air conditioning. It's hard to air condition a place that big when it's that hot. But then we had a lot of days where we were outside in the heat and it's just terrible. And we went from that. We shot from July until September. And then in September, we moved to Montana for like Montana winter. And it wasn't like quite cold when we got there. And that was kind of a bummer because they were hoping for snow in October, which I did not think would happen. But it got pretty
Right.
cold. So we went from like extreme, it's like, why couldn't we have done Montana summer and Texas winter?
Sure. Absolutely. Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I
But
love it.
it's just, it's a lot. Like it's just a lot of like things where, especially like if you're a producer, you're trying to make sure everybody's happy, that you're staying in budget, that if something goes wrong, that you're checking in with your different departments, whether it's the art department or your actors or your AD team, and just trying to make sure they have what they need. And if there's going to be overages, you have to get that approved. And like sometimes it's like you can't have that, and you have to calm down the most amazing divas you've ever met in your entire life.
I know that's right. I know that, and that's a great segue and a great answer to what you did. But once again, it's a great segue to this next question. That's mental health and work life balance. Obviously, in the journalist field, there's been a lot of journalists that have stepped away from journalism because of mental health. There's many colleagues that I know that have stepped away because it's tough. You know, journalism
Yeah.
does not stop. News, sports, whatever genre it is, it's all the time. And then also work life balance, right? You work on holidays, you work through holidays, you miss a lot of time with your family, your friends, celebrations, different things like that. It's the same thing in filmmaking and when you're producing in movies, right? You're on sets for months and months. You're away from your family. You're producing. It's just all kind of different kind of projects. Talk to me about how you've kept your mental health strong but also still had that work life balance. Like you said, you know, you have a husband, you're a daughter. I'm sure you probably have siblings as well, and you
Mhm.
have friends too, and you need some me time too, Aurora. So how do you separate all that and break that down and not experience burnout?
It is really tough. And I think it's very easy to get burnt out in this field for sure.
Hmm.
Um, and it's tough because like there is no stepping away. There's no taking a day off. It's such a specialized thing that so often there's only one of you on set. And if you're not there, there's no one to do it. It's like it's hard to call somebody in for that day. Like,
Right,
depending on what you do, like if you're something like a production assistant, that might be something where they can easily call and get somebody else. If you're like a visual effects supervisor, there's only so many in the world. So,
right,
like, if you're sick or you don't come to set, or you're like, I'm just not feeling it, there's like it could shut down a production, like unfortunately. And I've seen that happen, especially with COVID, that if you have like enough key people, the production has to shut down, and that's very expensive. Like sometimes like
right.
literally like hundreds of thousands of dollars a day to like delay and push a day.
Mm,
So there's no like really taking time off. And like we sometimes have Saturdays, usually have Sundays off. And I really just rot on those days. Like there's no getting me out of bed. I will like just sit with like the trashiest of TV and just like zone out. Honestly, it's just like it's so much stimulation when you're on set, and it's like you just kind of hit this point where you can't do it anymore.
sure.
The nice thing is that unlike other jobs, like in journalism, I'm assuming it's like probably like you're working kind of a maybe not always a completely consistent schedule, but you're working like
Yep,
52 weeks out of a year, or like 51 weeks out of a year or something.
sure. Yep.
With film, it depends. Like a movie, you're only working on a movie for like a month or two, and then you might have some downtime. Like it could be months in between your next project. A TV show, you're working probably closer to 6 months, and then again have like a month to 3 months down. And so you kind of have to like recover during that time fully. And it takes a while to do that. Like
Sure.
it takes like a good couple of weeks before I will get out of bed after a
You are
show.
shutting it down, is what you're
Right.
saying. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
like do not call me, do not text me. I will not be answering. And yeah, I just like really, you just have to have that you time. And it's tough. And like mental health is something that I take very seriously, and it's something I care a lot about. Like I have a background also in natural medicine. Like one reinvention I had done of myself before I ended up
Okay.
was I went to school for Ayurvedic medicine and nutrition. And something we really focus on there is like eating and living a lifestyle where you're doing yoga and stuff. So you're like feeling like your best self. But it's tough. And like there's some self-care things that you can kind of do on a daily basis. Like when I'm on set, even with early call times, I work out every day. I always do like a little weightlifting and yoga. And then you just have to take a lot of deep breaths when you're dealing with very difficult people and situations.
Sure. Sure. I can only imagine how some of those sets can be, dealing with the talent or dealing with other people on there for sure. Yeah, journalism is, all 52 weeks a year. Yes, you do have slower times,
Mhm.
especially if you're dealing with, high school and colleges, because typically in the summertime they're out of school, so you don't really have the go in the summertime. You got to try to find some things to do, but the fall and spring, yeah, it does get very busy. And I'm actually
Right.
now freelance. That's why I kind of went freelance. So I was like, you know what? Now I can kind of pick and choose the different games and stories that I want to do. It also gave me a chance to have some flexibility with my schedule, to be able to substitute teach because I love to do that because I just got my master's this year.
Nice.
Thank you very much. And then, but it also gave me the flexibility to start choosing some professional sports outside of just high school and college, which I've done for the past several years, and doing the Super Bowl this year. Got a chance to go to New Orleans.
Wow,
So yeah,
that is the dream.
absolutely. So my goal is to do the Super Bowl again, which will be in California next year, San
Ooh,
Francisco to be exact. So yeah, I'm looking forward to doing that and some more bigger events as well, for sure.
that is so cool. Congratulations. Like, it's
Thank you.
so great to get to a point where I'm sure that's what you were hoping to do in your career. Like, when you wanted to
Absolutely.
get into journalism and then you wanted to
Hmm.
do sports writing, I'm sure like the dream was Super Bowl. Like, does it get
Absolutely.
bigger?
Absolutely, right? And then now since I've crossed that off the list, now it's time to go do some of these bigger type of games, and I'm hoping to get March Madness crossed off the list next year as it will be coming to New York as I will now transition to New York as well. So I'm hoping that I can cross some more stuff off my list for sure.
Amazing.
G- Great segue again though, because now I want to talk about advice.
Mhm.
What is some advice that you would give somebody that wants to be in the film industry? I'm sure you meet dime a dozen people that talk to you about the film industry, want to be a producer, or want to be talent wise, or just want to be in the industry somehow, some way. What kind of advice would you give someone that wants to be in the industry?
Sure. So, my advice now is very different than it would have been 5 years ago. 5 years ago, I would have been like, don't bother going to school, just get a job as a PA and figure out what department you want along the way.
Okay.
But unfortunately, in the past 5 years, we had, COVID, which infected the entire world, but also, of course,
Yeah.
the film industry, and then
Yep.
the film strikes, which shut everything down in film for almost 2 years, and things
Yes,
have
it
been
did.
really slow to pick up. And the majority of filmmakers are out of work right now. It's just like a really tough place. And I wouldn't let that necessarily like discourage somebody who had a dream to get into film. Like, the hope is it'll pick back up. It might look different, but at some capacity it will. So now, what my advice would be is to pick up a camera and make something. Like, do something yourself. Definitely apply for jobs. Like, if it's something that you really want to do, like, it doesn't hurt to try, but just know that there's so few jobs for so many people that have had, 30 plus years of experience. And it's a tough
Absolutely.
thing to get into at the moment. But I think the cool thing is that I think we're about to see a new cycle of indie film. I think, the Oscars kind of proved it. We had The Substance, Baby Girl came out around that same time, and there were a lot of really big indie films. Everything, Honora won. Everything that was nominated pretty much was an indie film. And that's like, as a response to the fact that studios haven't been ordering movies and TV shows. Like, they're really on lockdown.
Very true.
They
Yes.
overspent during COVID, and I think there's some other things that we don't know, like what they're up to now
Hmm.
at play. But just make something, and that's what I'm doing right now. I'm making like my first like horror short with my own production company instead of working with a big production. And it's going to be hard, and like the cheaper and dirtier you can get it done. I think it'll be really fun learning experience for people to do that. Your first one, just like anything you do, like your first podcast episode, your first anything, like it's not going to be great, but you're going to look back at it and be like, that was what got me started. Like, this is the thing I did. And everybody has to be bad before they get good.
I'm glad you said that. That is absolutely true because I look back at my first podcast episode and I'm like, sheesh, I don't even know who that person is. But that
Right.
was a while ago, and now we're 280 plus episodes into the podcast now, and it's much different. It's a much different feel. It's much more
Uh-huh.
confident than I am in my abilities, and but we're also getting some more terrific guests that's on the podcast as well, for sure. But I love the fact of what you just said of just pick up something and make something.
Yeah,
Nowadays everybody has a phone.
exactly.
Everybody can, and a phone has a camera, so you can easily make something. No doubt about that.
You
Uh, you talk.
can.
You talked about your production company. I think it's called. Is it Witches
Bad
Company?
witches.
Bad Witches, right? Bad Witches Productions.
Yes.
What is your movie going to be called? Or short going to be called?
It's called Vessel.
Mm,
And that name represents a couple of things. It's
okay.
actually it's based on a true story of something that happened to me. It's based on the time that I had a spirit attach itself to me, allegedly.
Wow.
I went to
Okay.
a haunted house, and like a very haunted house in Columbus, Ohio, that's like known for being haunted. And while I was there,
Mhm.
I think I picked up a ghost and weird things started happening. And, there's like always been part of me that was like, was I just tired? Was I just depressed? Was this in my head? I don't know. But it was really wild things that like I couldn't explain, and people around me were like, no, something is off, like something is not okay.
Sure.
The movie's about that. And then the term vessel would be like that I was like a carrier for something, like vessel, something that holds something, it holds space. And it's also a term, of course, used in medium world as well. Like somebody could be like a vessel, like if they're a medium and channeling a ghost or something like that as well.
Absolutely. Okay. I would love to obviously see that, and I'm sure you would definitely give me the 411 on how to see that whenever that is done. I know it's obviously a ways away, but yes, we would definitely stay in touch and be
Uh-huh.
able to, be able to see that because I love watching different films, and that sounds like a pretty interesting film to watch.
We'd love to have you out for a premiere.
Oh, no doubt. Oh, girl, you ain't got to say that twice. Okay, for sure. I would love to come out there for sure. No doubt.
Awesome.
I want to talk to you real quick about this bonus question I had, and that's, you took a picture with Harrison Ford, and he is
Mhm.
the legend. There is no question about that. Indiana Jones, Patriot Games. He just did obviously Captain America, which he was Red Hulk. How was it working with him, and how is it sometimes working with these big time stars? Because in Jack Ryan, if I'm not mistaken, you was working with John Krasinski, if I'm not
Right.
mistaken. So yeah, how
Right.
was it working with some of these big time stars?
It's kind of like hit and miss with some of them, and I won't name any of the bad ones, but I will
Yeah, please
say
don't.
that Harrison Ford is one of the good ones.
Okay.
He's
Okay.
great, and
Mhm.
he has this reputation, and I had heard beforehand because I wasn't on the first season of 1923, and he was not in our first half of filming because, for anyone who's watched the show, it takes place half in Texas for this season. Like they're traveling across Texas, and the other half is in Montana, of course. Or I'm sorry, it's like I think it's Wyoming, wherever we shot in Montana, but it's like near Yellowstone Park. And
Sure.
um, and so Harrison is in the part that's by Yellowstone. He's at the Dutton Ranch. And so he was not in, like, he didn't join us in filming until like I think August or maybe even September. And so everyone's kind of like speculating about him, and there's like, oh, he's kind of grumpy. And, like on set, like there's etiquette. Like if you don't need to interact with an actor, you should not go up to them. Like this is not like go up and ask to have your picture taken or an autograph
Right.
signed. Like you don't
Right.
initiate a conversation with Harrison when he's trying to focus and he's there to do a job. So like unless like
Sure.
you have business to do with him or he initiates a conversation with you, set etiquette is that you do not initiate it yourself. And
Mhm.
he shows up every day, ready to work, focused, and just great. Like he's wonderful to watch. He's 82 years old. You would never know. Like he's sharp, he's funny, he's really, really funny. And I got to have like quite a few interactions with him over the course of the show. And the first couple were sort of funny. And then it
Mm.
got good. Like the first time I met him, we do this thing where we scan actors.
Okay.
And this was like part of what the strikes were about, because people have like this fear of like scanning people. And then they're like, oh, you could make a 3D version of them. And then Harrison Ford doesn't have to act anymore. He could just like use his image. But the reason why they scan it is because he's in some stunt scenes, like he's riding a horse, he's being shot, he's doing this. And of course, like actors, like, often don't risk doing stunt work themselves because they could be injured. And then it's like, what do we do if we don't have Harrison Ford anymore?
That makes
Um,
sense.
right.
Absolutely.
And he's also not a trained stunt performer. So, like, it makes total sense. Although he does do a lot of his own stunt work and always has. But at
Mhm.
82, I'm pretty sure his wife was like, no.
Right,
I need my
right,
husband
right.
home. So,
Sure.
anyways, like we're scanning him, and what we do is like we scan his face and his body, and we match it up with his stunt performer, and then we do like a face swap if the stunt performer is riding a horse or doing something that he, you know, that the production will allow him to do, basically. And so no one likes doing it. Like the actors don't like it. It takes time out of their day.
Right.
And then like there's still kind of like the AI like ness of it all that people don't want to like talk about. And I totally understand that. So
Mhm.
he, like, I can tell he doesn't want to be scanned. He's not being difficult, but it's also a very hot day in Texas where we're shooting a scene where he's supposed to be in a blizzard in Montana in like a wool coat and scarf and like all these layers and layers and layers. And he's having to walk outside to get to the trailer in it in like 110-degree heat. So
Sure.
he comes to the trailer. He's a little like, not having it, but being perfectly polite. And at the end of it, like he's not really like, communicating with me, which is fine. Like I'm just there to facilitate and make sure if he has any questions that he's like okay and happy. And at the end of it, like I'm like, oh, like I heard you like oranges and like a bottle of water. So like I have some here if you want some. And then he like looks at me and is like, I really do like that. Thank you. And so that was nice. And like whatever.
Mm.
And oh no, I forgot. The very first time I saw him, this is why it's funnier.
Sure.
He came to set, and at this point, I know everybody on set. Like it, we're months into filming, and I say hi to everybody I see. I walk through the stages, and it's like, "Hi, how's your day? How's this? Whatever." And
Yeah.
so, not like realizing that like Harrison Ford's walking towards me, I say hi to him, not processing it, just thinking he's like another person like on set. And he looks at me like, what are you doing talking to me? And I'm like, oh God, I like broke like the first rule in the film set. I just said hi to Harrison Ford. Like,
Right.
oh, I hope he's not grumpy and I hope he doesn't want me fired. But like, nothing came of it. Of course, he's such a nice person. He would never do that. Then the trailer thing
Absolutely.
happens, and now like he knows who I am and knows my name. So the next time I see him, I'm on the stages and I'm talking to like some people in the crew, and I see him walking by. And because I don't want to like say hi or like make eye contact with him or like bother him again, I look away as he
Okay.
says hello to me. And I didn't hear him say hello to me, so I just, like,
Right.
continued to look away and, like, have my conversation, and the
Right.
person I'm talking to was like, "Did you just ignore Harrison Ford?"
Oh my gosh.
And I'm like, "What?" And then it's too late, he's already gone, so I can't, like,
Right.
make it okay. So, that was a lot. But then the next time I had an interaction with him was on Halloween, and he had stayed after a long day of filming to make a campaign ad for TikTok for Kamala Harris during the elections. And he was so sweet during like filming and everything. And we had a tiny crew stay after, to just make this basic black and white video that ended up going viral. Like he
Mhm.
was emotional and he brought so much to it. And I was actually on set that day doing background because we were short people and I didn't have a lot to do that day. So I went in for a scene and got made up in the 1920s hair and makeup and outfit and whatever. And
Wow.
so he had like seen me there in my outfit and like came up to tell me how like nice my outfit looked and how nice I looked that day. And then asked if I wanted
Absolutely.
to have a drink of scotch with him.
Now please tell me you said yes.
Absolutely.
Okay, all right, all right, all right. Good
Yeah.
woman. Good woman to say that. Okay, that's what's up.
Yes. So after that, we were buddies, and we had gone out. Like his stunt double that he's worked with since the '80s is named Mike Massa, who looks just like Harrison. He's very handsome and he's like very buff and like whatever. And so the two of them hang out a lot. They're very close friends. It's like we all went out and had like drinks a couple times and whatever in Butte, Montana. Montana, and like we were all just buddies after that. And he's as
Mm.
wonderful as you hope he would be. He's like the best.
I love it. I love that is crazy that you know you interact with Montana because my previous job,
Hmm.
prior to me being a sports reporter, I worked 6 years for the lottery, and I was doing lottery for the state of Montana.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
amazing. Uh-huh.
for the state of for the state of Montana, and Butte, Montana was where the headquarters was for the lottery. But
Did you ever
Helena,
go for that?
I did. I did. The Helena, Montana,
Oh
Butte,
yeah.
Montana, and then they also have I forgot the city, but they have something in Montana where you can go. It's like a jacuzzi, but it's like it's I think it's hot springs is what it's called.
Oh yeah.
Um,
I've
yeah,
been to
you
those.
you
Uh-huh.
you hear you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
super
So,
famous there. Really, really nice. Really beautiful.
mhm. So yes, I had a chance to go there and meet the Montana Lottery, but also visit a couple other cities as well. So that was pretty cool. Um,
I love that.
that's what's up. I like that. Now we have reached the portion of the podcast now that we are going to play my interactive game called This or That. So
Mm.
Aurora, what I like to do is when I bring my guests on here on the Work Hard Play Harder podcast, I like to throw some things at them and they get to choose this or that. So I ask you, are you ready?
Oh gosh, I hope so.
All right, here we go. Here we go. We're gonna find out. Here we go. Out of these two restaurants, which restaurant would you rather eat at if you had to choose? KFC or Popeyes?
Popeyes.
Girl, you on point like a period. I like that right there. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm
Definitely
talking about right
Popeyes.
now. Here we go. Here we go. Well, let's keep this thing going. If you are eating chicken wings,
Mhm.
which flavor out of these two would you choose to put on the wing? Barbecue and lemon pepper.
Barbecue.
Do you like your wings wet or dry?
Ooh, wet. Like, is like dry, would you say like breaded?
I
Is that
mean,
like what makes them dry?
you can have them like that if
I
you
want
want.
more sauce. Honestly, I'm a spices girl. I like the spicier the better and like more sauce,
Mm,
please.
okay, I'm with you on that. Now, do you like your wings bone in or boneless?
Bone in.
Okay, so you like to get messy.
I like it.
Mm. Girl, do you know how hard it is for a man with my pigmentation to blush? You about to make me blush over here. Come on now. Oh my gosh. My goodness. Where have you been, Aurora? My God. Okay, I love it. I love it. No, I
Mhm.
would do the same thing though, because I do like spice. I do say barbecue and lemon pepper, but honestly, I do like buffalo. I like buffalo sauce
Oh,
as well.
all about buffalo,
Uh,
yes.
absolutely. So I do like buffalo sauce. Just want to throw that out there as a disclaimer for sure. These next five of this or that questions are concerts that you much rather attend. Okay,
Uh-huh.
so here we go. Which concert would you rather go to? These are two of my favorite bands, Metallica or Pearl Jam.
Pearl Jam.
Okay, okay, good taste. I
Metallica
like
is
that.
so good, but like, I don't know, Pearl Jam's like so cute and like so 90s.
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, here we go. Which band, or I would say, which concert would you rather go to? There's two more bands. Would you rather go see Limp Bizkit or Nirvana?
Nirvana,
Smells like Teen
like,
Spirit.
right? Like, I
Hmm.
don't know. I just feel like they had so much more to like give.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately, like his death was such a tragedy. And I just feel like, I don't know. I feel like he's like a really interesting guy. And I think he was kind of ahead of his time. And I always like
Hmm.
think of it as kind of being like teenage angsty music.
Hmm.
But I think he was like actually like a very like smart guy. And I think that it's just such a bummer what happened.
Absolutely, no question about it. And talking about lead singer Kurt Cobain of Nirvana, what happened to him? No question about that.
Mhm.
Which concert would you rather go to? Would you rather go see Beyonce or Rihanna?
Oh no. How do you pick between them?
Mm. Oh, that's a nice color. I just
Oh,
noticed
thank
that.
you. I'm very green today.
Yeah, just noticed that. Okay, that's a nice color.
God, that's really hard. I feel like I have to go with Beyonce just because Cowboy Carter was so good, and I
Hmm.
feel like this tour she's doing right now, I keep seeing people post videos, and I'm really jealous that I'm not there.
Absolutely. And listen, they're gonna get a little harder as we go,
Okay.
for sure. I don't know if you're a country music person, but if you are, the which concert would you rather go to? Casey Musgraves or Carrie Underwood?
I'm not a big country person, so I'm gonna go with Carrie Underwood just because I know a little bit more of her music.
Okay, I like that. I like that. Now, this is back to the R&B.
Hmm.
R&B, okay? Now, this is the final music one. Which music concert would you rather go see? Would you rather go see her or SZA?
Ooh, I'm gonna go with SZA.
Okay, okay, but that was a difficult one, right?
Yeah.
It was a little difficult.
They are
I
getting, like,
figured that.
much harder, like, God, like,
Mhm.
Beyonce and
Mhm.
Rihanna, like, you can't choose between them, they're both such queens, like,
They
what?
are. They are. And listen, you did pretty good on the music part. Now, here's what I'll ask you. If
Mhm,
there if there's a game on TV, which sport would you rather watch?
mhm.
Would you rather watch hockey or would you rather watch football?
Hockey, just because I feel like I'd never understand what's happening with football, I'm not smart enough.
That's okay. That is all right. See, now I know where we can start. We can start with
Okay,
football. I can teach you some things about football. No
I
question
would
about it.
love that.
Plus, you're living in a city where it's 2 teams. You got the Rams and you got the Chargers that's nearby. Well, the Chargers are
Right.
my favorite team, by the way. The Chargers are my favorite team. I grew up, obviously, in San Diego, where they
Uh-huh.
originated from. So, yes, I definitely can teach you about that. So
I
now
love
I'm super excited. That's awesome. Okay.
Please do.
What is your favorite sport to play? Badminton or bowling?
Oh, I don't know how you play badminton. What is badminton? Which one's that?
So that's the one with the birdie, and it has the net. You hit the birdie over the net.
That sounds fun. Okay, you're gonna like really be like, who is this girl? I've never been bowling.
What?
I'm from the Midwest.
Oh my gosh. Oh my Lord. Okay. Well, we also gonna have to change that. Okay, we're gonna have to
Right.
change that.
I would love to
I
go, but also
mean,
I feel like with nails, it's hard. I don't
it
know
might
about
be a
that.
little hard. You might have to be one of those to roll, not stick the fingers in the ball. You might have
There's
to
a
do the
technique
outside.
for it. All right,
There is a
let's figure out
technique.
that technique. I love it. I'll do
All
it.
right. Okay. Long as you willing, then that's all
I'm
good. That's
willing.
all that matters. Okay. I like that. So for the sake of this one though, you'll pick badminton.
Let's go with badminton. I feel like I
Okay.
can hit a thing over a net.
I like that. That's what's up. Now, do you like desserts?
I love dessert.
Okay, so what I'm about to do is I'm going to name 4 categories of desserts. You have to choose one of these that you'll never eat again.
Oh no. Okay, I'm
So
ready.
here we go. The first one is ice cream. The second one is candy. The third one is cookies. The last one is grouped together cake/pies. Which one are you getting rid of?
It's gonna be candy.
Girl, you on point like a period again. Okay. I love it. I love it. Okay. All right. I would have
Mhm.
said candy too. Now,
Right?
what is your favorite cookie?
My favorite cookie I found recently is kind of weird. Someone was like, I've never heard of that. But have you ever had snickerdoodles?
Yeah, I have snickerdoodles. Yeah.
It's like this
Yeah.
thing, and I don't even know how like good they are. Like one of my neighbors actually made me snickerdoodle cookies for my birthday, and he had never
Hmm.
had them.
Hmm.
And he like tried one and he was like, that is horrible. Like, what is wrong with you? Those aren't good. But like I love them. And it was like my mom is not the world's best cook. And she but she loved making cookies. She's a pretty good baker. And she would always make snickerdoodles if I was like sick or having a bad day or something. So like it brings
Sure.
me back to kind of like feeling nurtured. Like I
Yeah.
love snickerdoodles, but I'll eat literally any cookie.
I'm with you on there. I do like snickerdoodles, but I would say obviously chocolate chip, oatmeal
Yeah.
raisin, but I'm also a little weird as well. I really like a good warm gingerbread cookie. That's what I really like. I like
Ooh.
gingerbread.
Gingerbread
So
is the best. I love gingerbread.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, when is your birthday?
It's in May. It's May 12th,
May 12th. Okay,
Taurus.
got you. I'm a February birthday, so yes, February 2nd. I'm Groundhog Day.
Aquarius?
Yes, I'm
Nice.
Aquarius. Absolutely, no question. All right, that's what's up. I love that. Do
S-
you like potato chips?
Love.
Okay, so this is the same format. I'm gonna name 4 brands. You gotta choose one of these brands you'll never eat again. So here we go.
Okay.
First brand is Pringles. The next brand is Doritos. The
Hmm.
next brand is Lay's. The last brand is Ruffles. Which one are you getting rid of?
God, that's so hard. Potato chips are probably my like one of my all-time favorite foods.
Mhm.
Um, I feel like Pringles are like, I don't know, they kind of seem like over the top. I think I would
Mm.
get rid of Pringles because I'm not getting rid of Ruffles, Doritos, or Lay's
I
for sure.
think I think you made the right damn decision.
Yeah.
That's what I think. No question. I love it. I love it. Now, what is your favorite potato chip?
I said I really like spicy food, and I really like the kettle ones, like the crunchy ones that are jalapeno.
Well, Aurora, listen, you've been absolutely perfect, beautiful. I mean, enlightening all conversation long, but you just proven that you are not perfect. And that's
Ah!
just what
Oh
that's
no,
just
is it a
what it is.
no for jalapeno chips for you?
Kettle chips. More so the kettle than probably the
Oh, you
jalapeno.
don't like kettle. Is it like
Yeah,
the
the kettle.
crunchiness? Is it too crunchy?
Yeah, it's a little bit too crunchy. Those
Too
are the
crunchy.
third worst chips ever made. Kettle chips, third worst.
Oh, so like if
Uh,
you had that question about which chip you got rid of, like would it
yeah.
definitively be kettle chips?
If kettle chips was in there, yeah, absolutely. I would definitely get rid of them in a minute. They are the third worst chip ever made, and you're
Wait,
probably saying to yourself, "What's the first two?"
I'm gonna have to know.
I feel that, and I totally understand that question. It's a viable question. Now, the second worst chip ever made is salt and vinegar. Whoever thought about salt and
Ooh.
vinegar chips, they need to be slapped with the black side and the white side of my hand. They definitely need to. Absolutely, absolutely hard. Because that's just awful. But they still are not the worst chip ever. The worst chip ever made in mankind is Funyuns. Whoever in the bluest hell made Funyuns and put them on the shelf,
Yeah.
I don't. They're not good. They're
I
not
could
good.
definitely leave Funyuns, but I love vinegar chips.
Like I said, everything about your look is perfect. Everything about you is perfect, but your food taste is just not, and that's okay.
So
That's okay.
like how do you feel about potato salad?
Oh, I love it. Love potato
Okay,
salad.
so that has some vinegar, but not enough to like be offensive.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, good, good, good.
because
I love potato
because
salad.
not only that does have vinegar, but it also has other nutrients in there, especially with the
I see.
potatoes, that
Right.
makes it very good. You know what I mean? So, but the vinegar and the salt together, ooh, that's like mixing oil and water. It just don't
It
mix.
is really tart.
Yeah, but listen, like I said, you did very good on this or that. You were very decisive, except for the Beyonce Rihanna. But that's a tough one. That was a tough one, and I've asked that several times, and you've had the same reaction as several people on this podcast have. So
You're so great.
there's no knock. And listen, all those performers that I mentioned are performers that I've listened to. And that performers, most of them I've seen in person. I mean, I would have seen Rihanna for sure, but she don't really do concerts like that. So,
Yeah, she doesn't, like, right?
mhm,
And so I guess, like,
right.
maybe if you had to ask Beyoncé or Rihanna, you'd have to pick Rihanna because it would be so special because she doesn't do concerts anymore.
Absolutely. No
Yeah.
question about that. I love asking this question to people in media, and it's a top four. Give me a bucket list of, I would say maybe not events, but give me a bucket list of maybe movies you would like to do, or maybe some shows that you would like to do in your film career. A top four.
Like, things that already exist or, like,
Or
if
maybe,
I could forge on.
maybe if you wanna maybe they already exist, but also things that's possibly that you may wanna write in the future, in upcoming.
That is tough. So, like, one bucket list item, and I feel like maybe I could do this, is, like, working with Nicole Kidman on, like, anything because like,
Oh my god.
she does, like, 1,000 movies a year.
Right, right.
So maybe one of them could be with me, like like I swear she has clones. Like with as much like stuff as she puts out, like there can't just be one Nicole Kidman. Like, how does she have like 3 TV shows
Hmm.
come out at the same time? It's like, you must have been working 6 months on one. Like, were you working like, does she really just stay up 24 hours a day? Like, I need
Right.
to know.
Right.
So I would really like to work with her on something. And then it's tough to say, like, like specific shows, like not knowing what's coming out. I really like being in the horror world. And my favorite horror movies tend to be kind of like thoughtful and like cerebral. Like I love the substance and like things like that that aren't like
Hmm.
just slashers, but
Hmm.
I also love slashers. And like I've never worked on one before, but like I love like the effects of it. I love like how over the top it is. Like I would just like love to see that scene. Like I would love to work on anything in the Scream franchise.
Sure.
And like they've brought it back, and like Scream, the original Scream's like one of my all-time favorite, at least horror movies, but I'd love to work on that. But when we were doing 1923, there's like this gross scene where Zane, I think he's like Harrison Ford's son. I'm actually like, I should know more about that show. I worked on it. But like he gets like this like thing in his brain. I forget what it's called. And like they have to like
Mhm.
drill into his skull to relieve the pressure of this like medically I have no idea what it's called. I forget. I knew when I was on the show. But
Oh,
it's like
you
they have
good?
to like they take this like hand crank drill on the show, and they
Mhm.
crank it into his head, like into his skull to like open it
Wow.
up, to like relieve this blood that's like built up on his brain. It's
Okay.
like it's not like an embolism. I don't know what it's called. But anyways, so in that scene, they had built this fake head of the actor Zane. It's like this like very complex thing that looks just like him and has his hair, and like you see the face and it looks like a corpse of this guy. Like it's so creepy.
Oh,
And so
wow.
what they do in the show is they film like him laying there, the real actor, and then at some point they put the fake head in, and they take the drill and they drill into it. And in this fake head they made, there's this packet of blood, and it like splurts out at some point. And with my job, I don't always have to be like where the cameras are. Like I'm usually in my trailer, like I'm making sure things are in budget, and like, I'm
Right.
handling schedules, and I kind of like check on things as needed. But that day, which we called Zane Brain Drain Day, and it was on the schedule like happy Zane Brain Day to everyone who celebrates, and like everyone's talking about it. And like I'm
Right.
like texting everyone on set and like, you let me know when they get that drain out. I want to be on set to see it explode.
I love
So
that.
it was
That's
like
what's
my
up.
first like right. It was like my first horror thing I got to like see in person, and I just loved it. It was so fun to see like how the effects worked. But so something with Nicole Kidman, Scream, and then I don't know. It's so hard. I'd also love to work with like anyone in the Coppola family.
Okay. Let me ask you because this came up in my mind as you were talking. I could certainly see you doing this.
Mhm.
Maybe a red carpet event. What about hosting? Would you ever want to like maybe like host and talk to some of the people as far as do a red carpet type of thing at an award show or maybe Golden Globes, Oscars, something like that? Because obviously you have a great personality. I think anybody would love talking to you. So would you ever consider doing something like that?
Absolutely. And it's so funny that you mentioned that, because my business partner in Bad Witches, her name's Fanny, and she's our director for our horror movie, was like, why don't you do that? Like, she was like, we were
Mhm.
watching the Golden Globes together, and she's like, that should be you. Like, that would be like
Right.
your job. But I have had a podcast before where I had guests on. I do like talking to people, and I think it would be super fun. Like, that would definitely be a dream job.
That is a great segue again because I did see that you do have a podcast.
Yeah.
And yeah, yeah, absolutely. And it's a mysteries type of podcast that you have, if I'm not mistaken. And I want you to talk about that because I would love to know how often do you get to do it? How many shows you normally put out? What kind of guests you have on there? Because I certainly would love to support your podcast if I fit that criteria. That would be amazing.
Thank you.
Let me know what's your podcast about, what is it called, and the origin of it.
Sure. So I had two, and the one I had for the longest was Murdered and Missing News, and it was a true crime series about unsolved cases. And we tried to pick cases that were underrepresented by the media. So,
Okay.
you know, it's so easy if you're like, I mean, this still sucks. Like we have like Gabby Petito kinds of cases. So if it's like a pretty young white girl, it's like so easy to get media coverage of that. And then there's like other facets of society. If you're a BIPOC woman, if you are a sex worker, or if you are just normal looking and not like some
Right.
stunning model, like whatever.
Right.
So we tried to like pick cases that were unsolved, or that somebody was missing. And we would often have the families of that person come and talk about, what had happened when they disappeared or when they found them dead, or like that kind of thing, to try
Sure.
to advocate for getting answers, because often police departments will say they don't have the funds and the resources to cover these cases. And it really is up to the media, like, in journalism, to get the word out to see if somebody saw something or if somebody knows something.
No question.
And with that, the coolest guest I ever had, and we had so many great guests throughout the years. But we actually had Kathy Kleiner, who was a survivor of Ted Bundy, on the
Wow.
show. And there was an incident where he had killed multiple women at a sorority house in Tampa, Florida.
Sure.
And Kathy had actually been brutally attacked with him with a log they had found in their yard, and he had smashed in her skull and like left her for dead. And
Mhm.
she somehow survived that attack and had to have her jaw wired shut for like ever and ever and ever, and like had all this, like serious stuff done. But she's just this amazing person who keeps going and like has never let anything get her down. And
Sounds
she's
like it.
fantastic. So that's my first podcast. My other one is a spooky stories one. I'm a writer too. So I love like a murder mystery, or just like sometimes not even a murder mystery, like something with
Mhm.
like Bigfoot, or like, like silly things too, ghost stories and things like
Mhm.
that. And that one is called Burnt Marshmallows Cozy Mysteries. And both of those are currently on hiatus at the moment. It's sort of hard for me to, like write, record, edit, produce a podcast when I'm on set. So I kind of shut those down about a year ago while I was focused on 1923, and I haven't picked them back up.
Okay. Well,
But if I do
obviously,
come back, I'd love to have you on for something. You're a journalist. I'll bet you have something awesome to contribute.
oh, no question. Please, please ask me. It will be the absolute yes. Funny
Awesome.
story. I want to tell you two things because two things came in my mind. So, when I first found you, Aurora, I was like, man, I was like, you must be a model. I didn't know that you was a filmmaker or that because of just the pictures alone. I'm thinking, okay, maybe you're a model agency, you work in media. That's great. I haven't had many models on the show, so I was like, okay, maybe I could talk to her and be able to pick her brain of how that lifestyle is. But then I did some digging, and I found out you were a producer and a
Uh-huh.
filmmaker and a writer, and I was like, oh, okay, well, maybe she's not a model, but but from the pictures, I thought you was a model. So
Oh,
I
thank you
thought
so
I was like,
much.
yeah, I was like, okay. I was like, all right, I'm getting that. But it's amazing to hear your story of what you're doing right now. Now, the second thing that I wanted to mention to you was about advice. What is some advice that someone has gave you that you hold on dearly to?
Boy, that is such a good question.
Mm.
It's tough because it's like, I've had so many different versions of myself throughout
Okay,
the years. It's like I was in like software, and then, like I just wasn't feeling it, and like whatever. And like each time, and I think like a lot of people like throughout life will feel this way, that like an industry hasn't gone as you expected, or the economy crashed, or this, and like you're having to restart, or like you're going back to school, and like, like my aunt went back to college in her 50s and whatever.
that's
And
amazing.
I was like actually at this point where I wasn't sure I wanted to get into film and like start over again. And I had actually
Wow.
gone on a cruise like with my parents and my aunt when we went to
Hmm.
Jamaica. And I forget exactly how she worded it, but it was like, basically, it was like you get as many fresh starts as you want. Like there's never a point that like you have to stop in life. Like life is not over at like 30, life is not over at 40, life is not over at 50. And like her now being in her 80s, she's like, I feel like as young as I did when I was like 50 and starting school. And what if I talked myself out of going back to school for counseling when I was 50? I've been doing it for 30 years now. And like, what
Right.
if I had convinced myself that I was like too old to do it? So I would say, like, anybody listening, if they feel inspired by you to be in journalism or if they want to be in film and they're like, I can't do it. Do I have to go to school? Like, just do it. You're not too old. And it's like, you're gonna like 5 years from now when you're doing it, you're gonna be glad you didn't wait and like that you just like went forward and now you're in it and now you're a journalist or now you're done with school or this thing. Like just do it.
Absolutely. I love that advice. And you gave great answers all conversation long. But I really love that because I've gotten to the journalism industry a little late, right? I started in my late 20s.
Uh-huh.
Now that I'm close to, I would say, older 30s now. That's my age
Okay.
now. But um, I started in my late 20s. And I graduated college later as a later student. I went in as a non-traditional student because I didn't want to go to college right after high school like that. I kind of wanted to try to find myself and see what I wanted to do because there were so many different things that I was interested in. I first wanted to be a math teacher, then I wanted to be a broadcaster, and then I wanted to be a writer. And I switched my major several different times until I finally got the major that I wanted and did that. I think that if you have a goal in your mind, no matter what age you are, no matter what process that you have to go through it. Like you said, it's worth it in the end of it. Hard work does pay off. It's not just a
Absolutely.
cliche. It really isn't. And now that I'm older and I get to give back to the kids that I substitute teach in high schools, they ask me, "Hey, Chris, I would love to be a journalist like you too." Brother, you can certainly do that. Or sister, you can certainly do that. Just go ahead and get as much knowledge as you
Absolutely.
possibly can. And shadow somebody, right? And shadow somebody, but also don't think you have to go the traditional route. I always tell them that too. It back in the day, people say, well, you got to start in a small market, you got to get a degree, you got to do this, you got to do that. I mean, times have changed.
Right.
Technology has changed. You don't need to go the traditional route anymore. That's why they have
Absolutely.
influencers and people like that. Is you can get started right here, right now by being creative, and then once you do that, and get noticed and talk to the right people, because it's not just about what you have; it's also about who you know and what you do.
Absolutely. Yeah, and like sometimes you just have to make your own path, like it
Mhm.
hasn't been made for you. And
Yeah.
this was actually really inspiring. Earlier this week, I went to this dinner in Palm Springs, and it was this group called Palm Springs Women in Film and Television. And I've been
Wow.
to a couple of the groups, and it's not always like film people. Sometimes it's like news broadcasters and stuff, which is like still really fun. But
Sure.
on this dinner, there was this woman there who was in her 90s, and she was the first Black talent manager in
Okay.
Hollywood.
Okay.
First Black woman talent manager. And
Mhm.
her clients included Mark Hamill in Star Wars.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Like that was like one of her first clients, and it's like, what? Mark Hamill in Star Wars? She
Yeah.
had like Martin Sheen, she had Chris Rock. Like there's like
Mm.
no one she hasn't represented. And she, like, looking at her, you would guess she was like maybe 65 or something. And
Wow.
when she had like gotten started, there were talent managers. Clearly, there was nobody like her doing this. Like it was like mostly white men. And like there were a few women in it too. Like she could have been one of like the first women like at the time period.
Sure.
But like she just decided, like she didn't really know what she was doing. And like she had been working for like a casting company and was like, oh, I think I could do that. And she just has this great personality and she's outgoing and she got into it. Now she's like very successful. Like there's a lot of money to be made in that industry, but she just decided to go for it and like didn't wait for anybody to open the door for her. She just did it. So like I know that's not easier said than done, and like there can be things that hold you back, but like you still have to try it. Like do it. If you want to do it, try. Like
I
do
love
your
that.
best. And like her name's Dolores Robinson, and like go look her up on Instagram. She's such a cutie pie.
I definitely will have to do that. That's what's up. I love that.
Yeah.
Um, do you think this is kind of a bonus question because it came up in my mind. What do you think about AI's implementation into the film industry? Because a lot of people are saying that AI is going to take jobs and take away stuff, and and AI in film has been talked about more recently than ever. Me personally, AI and robots and different systems and stuff like that. It's gonna be hard to have the human effect on
Yeah.
when it comes to film and stuff like that. But it is a conversation worth having because people are starting to get more of the chat GPT and the different type of AIs and scripts. And there was something that I read that there was some kind of system that you put these scripts in, and now these different robots or different kind of systems would choose these scripts, and that's how your scripts would get chosen for Hollywood. Talk to me about the implementation of AI, and what do you think its impact will be or lack thereof?
I think it's really scary. I do think that filmmaking is one of the few arts that we have left where people can still make a very comfortable living and
Sure.
like have a home and like actually be able to feed their kids and things like that. And like our economy is just so scary right now. It's hard to make a living wage doing anything. And film has been that outlet for artists since its dawn in the early 1900s, late
Absolutely.
1800s, and it's already affecting things. Studios are not ordering shows right now, and I'm not an expert on why that's happening. So like I'm speculating after
Right.
reading a lot of like what people are saying,
Right.
but one of the things that's certainly driving that is like studios, I think, are kind of waiting to see if AI technology will be there before they renegotiate contracts with writers and stuff to see if they can, like, oh, sorry, I guess your contract expired. I guess we're going to have to use AI now, and like those
Right,
kinds of things.
right.
And, I want to be wrong about that. I really do, because I don't want to see this go away for people. I think that movies made with AI initially are going to be their own thing. And I think it's going to start with, being a TikTok. Like, I think it's going to be like a 13-year-old at home on his computer making something versus like film studios using AI. Um, I think like people are going to fight hard. I think like people with money are going to fight hard to like not let it replace actors and things like that.
Absolutely.
But I think it's in the long run fighting a losing battle. And I think that's why my advice is like to just go pick up your iPhone and make a movie, and see what happens with it. Because I think people are still going to want that. They're going to want that original content. Studios
Mhm.
can replace us if they want to. And I think
Right,
that they do because they want money and they don't want to pay people.
right.
So it's like, do what you can to like preserve that. Do what you can to share your role and like making sure that art doesn't die. Like write the movie and write it for yourself. Like you don't have to sell it to a studio. Write it and go pick up an iPhone and shoot it with some friends and who wanted to get into acting or whatever. But I think it's really scary, and I want to be wrong. And I hope that studios are like, no, this is a 13-year-old could do away with us, so let's fight to keep it alive,
Sure.
whatever. So I hope that studios end up fighting for it, but I just don't know. I'm scared.
No, no, that's a great answer though. It is, and it's a viable question because
Yeah.
like you say, you hear about it more in society with AI and the implementation of it. And you're right, studios can replace actors. It's really easy, and a lot of different not just with film, but with different genres of occupation. AI can
Yes.
replace those workers as well. And it is scary because
The
you're like, man, you,
arts. It's
you
going
uh,
after the arts. Like it's going after, obviously there's writers outside of film. Like
Mhm.
like it's a lot. It's a lot to it's like why can't I mean there's that great meme about like I wanted AI to like do my laundry and my dishes, not take my job. And it's so
Right,
true. It's like, why aren't we
right,
using it for that? I don't
absolutely.
like
But I
doing dishes.
straight up, right? But I love the fact that you said go independent, right? But pretty
Yeah,
much, like start doing your own thing, and that's pretty much what is going to start coming down to. You're going to start seeing people in the business with their own production companies, doing their own thing, writing their own films, shooting their own films, and I love that. I love that. I wanted to share this fun
absolutely.
fact with you before I get you on the rapid fire. Um, and that is I have. Please don't judge me, but I have not seen one Star Wars.
I've never seen a Star Wars.
Really?
No.
Okay, so we're like, okay, cool,
Oh
cool.
my
So we're about,
gosh,
we're,
look at us. Like,
right.
not the same potato chip flavor, but we've never seen a
Well,
Star Wars and we both like the spiciest, hottest wings.
that's right. And see, so you rebounded. That's all that
Yeah.
is. You rebounded, and as well. And listen, that proves I'm also not perfect either, because many people got on me for not seeing Star Wars or Harry Potter. Haven't read a Harry Potter book. I have not seen that at all. I never had ketchup. Um, uh,
You've never had ketchup?
no.
That's a surprise.
Yeah, I've never had ketchup. Ketchup, mustard. Like people say, how you eat your hot dogs? Well, hopefully it's a chili dog with some cheese on it, or in if I eat like a hot dog, it's kind of a beef hot dog, and I put barbecue sauce on it sometimes.
Did you know that in
Hmm.
Canada they have ketchup potato chips? What are your thoughts?
I said, well, the first thought in my mind was a four-letter word, but the first thought in my mind, but the next thought in my mind was that does not surprise me because Canada has some really unique traditions,
That's
and
one way of putting it.
I love Canada. Do Toronto's one of my favorite cities. I've been there
Yeah.
a couple times. I do want to go around Canada though. Like I would like to visit Montreal. I would like to visit
Yeah, it's
Quebec.
beautiful.
I would like to visit some other cities, but Toronto, I've been there a couple times. So yes, but no, that does not surprise me about Canada and their ketchup chips, for sure.
I don't know why.
Hmm.
They're
I
terrible. I
don't.
don't like them.
Oh yeah, they sound bad. They sound awful. I mean,
That's my like leave it potato chip.
I feel that. I feel that, girl. That's what's up. That's what's up. I like that. Now, I'm gonna get to this rapid fire, okay?
Okay.
And before I get you on up out of here, rapid fire. Basically, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna throw some things at you, and the first thing that comes to your mind, you shout it out with glee. Okay, so here
Okay.
we go. Pancakes or waffles?
Yum. Oh, wait, you said pancakes or waffles?
Yeah,
Oh, or gosh, I guess waffles. Gosh, they're both
but
so good.
yes,
But
but yes,
carbs, give me
they
carbs.
are yum. They are yum. There's no question about that for sure.
Uh-huh.
Chicken or ribs?
Chicken.
Okay, red or blue?
Blue.
Favorite Netflix TV series?
Oh gosh. Netflix TV series. I mean, Stranger Things is so great.
Oh my gosh, cannot wait for November and season 5. No question about that.
Yeah, it's so good.
Okay, I'm with you on that. Okay, you got good taste, girl. Good taste. Favorite board game?
Board game. Does Cards Against Humanity count? I like things like that are silly or like that meme game.
Okay, okay.
Have you played Cards Against
I'll let
Humanity?
I have, yes, and it's a very good game with you with the
Yeah.
right people, and if you have the right alcohol in you as well, for sure.
So many drinks required.
Yes, absolutely. Speaking of drinks, what is your favorite alcoholic drink?
Um, I mean, I would drink mouthwash if I had to. But I
I ain't never
I mean,
heard that damn phrase before. I'll tell you
do what
that.
you
That's
gotta
what's up.
do.
I love
But
it.
I like a fancy, like I like an Aperol spritz, I like a rosé. I like
Okay.
a summery, light thing. I Aperol spritz is probably like my all time, it's like
Yes.
you're like in
Okay.
Italy on the coast kind of drink.
I'm a huge Hennessy person, so Hennessy is definitely my drink.
Yes.
No question. I love
Hennessey's
some
great.
Hennessy.
Hmm.
Favorite card game. Now you can't say Cards Against Humanity, but favorite card game outside of that.
Cards. Let's see. I really like. Am I allowed to cuss because it's a cursed
Yeah,
name?
go ahead.
I
Yes.
like that game like bullshit, like where you put your cards down and you like have to like guess if the other person's lying or not, and you can call them out and say bullshit. Because I'm like
That
pretty good at like,
you are the second one in recent podcast episodes that said bullshit as a card game that they love. And I told them I don't even know how to freaking play that game. How the hell do you play that?
So it's been a long time since I've played, but I think like what you're supposed to do is you put like everybody in the group like has to put a card down. Like now you're on 7, now you're on 8, now you're on 9. And you say like I have 2 7s, I have this, whatever. And you put your card down. And the objective is like to get rid of all your cards. So
Okay.
like if you don't really have 2 7s, maybe you don't have any sevens, like maybe you just want to say you have one, but you can put another card in. But then somebody can like think you're lying because they have 3 7s and be like, bullshit, I don't believe you. And then if you get called on bullshit and you're lying, then you have to take the whole stack of cards and like basically start over.
Oh, damn. Okay.
But
I
it's
got you
like
on
you
that.
have to be like a lie detector. But like I'm usually pretty
Mm,
good at telling when people are lying. So
okay. Well, make sure I don't lie to you. That's for sure.
right.
Okay. That's what's up. I like that.
I'm
I
a
like that.
detective.
Absolutely. Okay. Favorite sandwich?
Like is this like ingredients or like place?
Like, well, no, no, no. It could be like your type of sandwich. Like for me, it's like turkey, chicken, or steak. That's the type of sandwich
Oh,
I love.
okay. I see.
Yeah.
Ooh, like a Philly cheesesteak's really good.
Yeah.
I feel like
That's
that's gotta be like my favorite.
definitely
That's
number one.
delicious. The cheese, yum.
I'm with you on that, no question. If you had a choice to take three people with you on vacation, um, where would you go, and who are the three people that you would take? Now, Aurora, you could choose family, friends, or celebrities.
Oh, okay. Then it's just gonna be celebrities. I don't like anybody in my life that much. No. Okay, so I mean, it's hard because actually I know exactly where I'd go. Okay, so the place I would go is Disneyland in Hong Kong.
Oh, okay,
Specifically that one because I've been to the other Disneylands and I haven't been
sure,
there yet. And I
sure,
could say like someplace tropical, but I feel like I get bored on the beach sometimes. I mean, I like being on the beach, but like a beach is a beach is a beach. But I've never
right,
been to Disneyland, Hong Kong. And with me, I would take my best friend Fanny because she's directing my movie because we love going to Disneyland together. We went to Disneyland Paris together. We've been to Florida. We've been to
okay,
obviously LA,
okay.
Anaheim. Um, and then who would I take with me other than
Two,
Fanny?
two other people.
Yeah, I'm trying to think because it's just going to be like celebrities now, but like who would be fun to talk to? Okay, I know. I would take because she seems like the most fun ever. I love trashy reality TV, and when I'm like zoning out because I've like done too much and I just have to like dissociate, I
Yeah.
love watching Love Island, and I would take Serena and Janae because I feel like
Okay.
they're like just like party girls and I feel like they would have like the best time ever. Have you ever seen Love Island?
I have seen it, and
Oh
now
man.
I'm gonna tell you, it's not for most males to be watching Love
No.
Island. To be honest with you, I'm just gonna be, and that's not a sexist thing I'm trying to say. I'm just saying if you've watched it, this is definitely for females to watch.
Yes.
Okay, it's like
Girls and gays.
watching The Real Housewives.
I
Most
love
men
Real
ain't gonna.
Housewives.
See what I'm saying? And so does most of the women that I know in my life. My mom, my aunt, my stepmom, they love the Real Housewives. They love Love Island. Me
Right.
myself, I'd rather get a cold beverage and just watch Breaking Bad or watch
Breaking Bad's great.
right, or I'd rather watch a Netflix series or or a sports documentary. That's what I'd rather
Right.
watch. But yes, I do know about Love Island and the phenomenon is taking on for sure. No
Oh,
question.
it's just this season's terrible. I don't even know what happened. It's like the worst season of reality TV show we've ever been given
Wow.
ever. But
Okay.
last season for USA was fantastic, and I just love me some Janae and Serena. They're amazing.
Okay, that's great choices. Now, if you had a choice to
Mhm.
listen to three songs or three artists that you can listen to on repeat and never get tired of, who would those three artists or three songs be?
Shoot. God, this is so hard. I'm so bad at music, so I'm more of a podcast girl these days.
Mhm. Mhm.
But I mean, oh God, it's like so predictably basic, girl. But it would have to be like Beyonce, Britney, and Lady Gaga. It's really
Yeah.
basic, but I love like I love something upbeat. I love like something dancey if I'm feeling down, and I feel like my girls just get me there.
No question. Those are 3 definitely upbeat type of performers, no question about that, so I love that. Um, if they told you, "Aurora, you can only do one of these for the rest of your career," and that is, direct, uh, produce, or write, which one would you choose to do?
I would produce. It's
Mm,
like the least like creative of the three, but I feel like you have more control with like producing, like you kind of get to decide what's getting made.
mhm,
And I do love writing, but I also like really like the idea of like helping newer like younger talent that they're like so inspired and have great ideas, and I love kind of like helping nurture that.
mhm,
And also like I do think that it's kind of your job as you get older to like move over and like hear younger voices because they are progress, like they're keeping things moving, and like we don't ever want to be at this like stale point in society that we're not accepting new things and ideas. So I like the idea of like getting to decide like which voices that haven't been heard before, like now
right.
get a microphone.
I love that. Now, last of the rapid fire, I need you to recommend 2 other people that you think would be absolutely amazing on this Work Hard, Play Harder podcast, that would love to tell their story like you have done.
Okay, so oh, I have a great one.
Mm,
So a great person that I know from Hungary, and she's a great guest in anything. Her name's Linda Marion,
mm,
and she was a first and second AD on a bunch of TV shows. So she's like second and third in command to the director, and like you have to
okay.
be on it. You're a badass. But she is like the badass of all badasses. She's Hungarian. She's funny. Like everyone loves Linda.
Okay.
And like she's so beloved that she worked on the movie The Spy Who Dumped Me with Kate McKinnon, who was on um Saturday Night Live, and like she's in like a
Right.
ton of things. She's so funny. So they became very good friends on that movie, and they actually have
Mhm.
matching tattoos, and Linda goes to stay with Kate in New York.
Wow.
And while Kate was like in Hungary working on the movie, Linda taught her a Hungarian rap song.
I
Like
gotta hear that.
you
I'm
can
intrigued.
hear it
But
because you can hear it because Kate McKinnon performed it on Jimmy Fallon, the entire
okay,
Hungarian rap song. And she shouted out Linda and said,
okay.
"Here's to Linda who like taught me like this like rap song." And like she does the entire thing. She has the accent down and everything. But like that's the kind of person Linda is. Like she's just like so funny, and she'll make such a great
I
guest. And
love
she's like
that.
lived lots of places. Now she's in LA, like, and she's just a really good time.
Okay, okay, I'm definitely going to wanna talk to her, no doubt. Who's next?
Who's next? Let me think like who would be kind of like,
Absolutely,
do
and
podcast interview.
love highlighting women, I really do, because I think we need more women in this industry, not just in journalism or just in media in general. We definitely just need women, just more of their voice, because sometimes in a male-dominated industry, especially with journalism, women's voices are not heard loud enough and stories are not told enough, and I really do think we do need more. I love my brothers, don't get me wrong, I love my men, I love men telling stories because there's great reporters out there that I've talked to on this podcast and this platform. But we do need to have more women in hierarchy positions, and we need to be more supportive of women in media positions. I really do believe that.
I so appreciate that you're doing that because, like, I absolutely agree. Like, that's like something anybody can do with like less privilege or whatever to help other people is like lift those voices. So, thank you so
Without
much for being so
question.
thoughtful about that. And
Thank
like,
you.
I have to say, the other person would be Dolores Robinson because
Hmm.
she is a talker. She'd make a great guest. She has like all these like fun celebrity stories. Like she was such a breaker of glass ceilings. Like she's just fantastic. And I'd be happy to make that introduction.
Absolutely. I was just going to follow up by saying that for sure. If you could help me get these 2 on, that would be absolutely amazing.
I'd love to.
This has been a really, really dope podcast episode, learning about your background from growing up in Ohio, but also coming out to LA, working on different TV series in Jack Ryan in 1923, producing, being a filmmaker, writing your own movie in Vessel, which I cannot wait for that to come out. And best believe, I don't care what I'm doing, I will make time to come out there to the premiere for
We'd
sure. No
love to
question
have
about that.
you.
No question about that. I would love that for sure. But this has been really dope. Just learn about you. I think you're amazing. I think anybody that knows you would say the same thing about you, Aurora. And
Oh.
I'm looking forward to following your future endeavors and your career because I'm a new fan of yours.
Oh
My
my God,
last
thank you.
question, you're great. Thank you so much. My last question to you is there anything else you would like to add about yourself, the job, or anything at all before we conclude?
The only thing I will say is we would love it if you enjoyed this interview to go find Bad Witches Productions on Instagram and
Yeah.
TikTok, and you can kind of follow our progress on making Vessel. We're getting ready to film in near Joshua Tree, California this August, and you can follow our journey there. Right now, we're still casting one of our actors, but we have one cast. He was actually in 1923. He played Luca. He's fantastic. We're so lucky to have him, but come follow our journey.
Absolutely, absolutely. Please, and go give Aurora a follow on her Instagram as
Yes.
well. She is absolutely amazing. I want you to take care, enjoy your Thursday evening and the rest of your weekend. You and I would definitely be in touch.
Absolutely, Chris. It's been wonderful meeting you. You are such an interesting person. And I like it's like so cool that you found me on social media and that you're also like really awesome.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And once again, you take care, and I will talk to you soon.
Perfect. Bye, y'all.